South East Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
South East Radio.
While Focus Ireland has been tackling homelessness throughout Ireland for many years, and as a not-for-profit organisation, fundraising is critical in order for them to support the people who are most in need. On Friday, October 18th, the organisation will host a Shine a Light event to raise money for the homeless in County Wexford, and Cathryn O'Leary from Focus Ireland joins me now to tell us more about this upcoming event. Cathryn, what is Focus Ireland all about?
Focus Ireland is a national homeless charity. We work right throughout Ireland. Our biggest unit of service would be in Dublin, and our second biggest unit of services is here in what we call the Waterford district. So that would include Wexford, Waterford, Carlow, Kilkenny, South Tipperary. But as I say, we work right throughout the country, and in last year alone, we helped over 15,500 people.
So Cathryn, Focus Ireland's Shine a Light event is just around the corner, but perhaps you can remind us about how successful previous events have been in Wexford from a fundraising perspective.
Yes, last year we were delighted to hold our first ever Shine a Light night outside of Dublin and Cork. Historically, before that, their events would have always been held in the Law Society in Dublin and Spike Island in Cork. But last year we decided to extend it to Wexford to host an event there, and we were delighted when Wexford GAA County Board came on board and offered us the Innovate GAA Centre. And we, in the end, we actually had really, really bad weather last year, which was unfortunate. But we had 34 local people. There were community people, business groups, teams of people from certain businesses, including actually South East Radio, who came along on the night, slept out and really experienced what it was like to be homeless just for one night. And we raised in excess of 25,000 from that event. So it was an amazing night. We also had other groups, business groups throughout the county who actually set up their own events and held their own events in their own grounds or in a local community centre, and even more monies came in from that. So it was a really, really successful year for the first year in Wexford. So this year we're really hoping to rise the bar and make it even more successful.
So €25,000 was raised from last year's event. Is all of that money spent here locally?
Yes, we Focus Ireland, as I say, our second biggest unit of services is here in the Waterford area, and we have a team of 8 people who are working currently here in Wexford, and we work right throughout the county. It's not just Wexford town. We're in Gorey, we work in Gorey, New Ross, Enniscorthy, Ferns, wherever we are needed, basically. So there's a huge need for funds here in Wexford because we need to extend that service even more. And, so the funds need to be kind of coming in from the area. And it's good to know that when you're fundraising the area, it is helping people, local people, It's a very worthy cause, and I know that there is an active campaign to get business owners involved in Shine a Light this year. How can they go about doing this? Okay, well, they can sign up to take part in our Shine a Light night in the Innovate Wexford Park. We will be there on the night from approximately about 8 o'clock, and the sleep out continues on till 6 o'clock the next morning. It's quite an experience, as I say. You'll come along on the night and you'll really learn. You'll learn exactly where every penny that's raised will go. And to sign up, they just need to register here locally with myself. I'm a local person myself. I'm based here in Wexford. So they can just contact myself here at the office. And at the end, I'll give you the phone numbers and the emails, and people can contact me that way. And if businesses are unable to participate in the sleep out itself, are there any other ways in which they can support it? Of course, even if they can't come along on the night, there's absolutely no problem. They can actually hold whatever sort of a fundraiser. They can make donations directly to Focus Ireland. We also have, later in the year, we'll have other activities, like we'll have things like our Christmas jumper campaign. We will also have sponsor star campaigns. So there will be several opportunities. Just because people are not able to be there on that night shouldn't stop them from getting involved. What is really very much a local charity working here locally on the ground. So our support is not just about that one night, it's about right through the year. And we'd love, obviously, corporate companies to get involved with us, any size of company. right across the ranges of companies to get involved and just support Focus Ireland, as I say, because we are working locally, your money is being spent locally, and it really does. It does good to support people who are homeless or at risk of homelessness here in Wexford.
And in relation to County Wexford, regarding homelessness, is it still a growing problem or has it tapered out?
No, unfortunately, it hasn't tapered out at all. The number of homelessness and people who are homeless or at risk of homelessness is growing, unfortunately, on a daily basis. It really is. I was mentioned to you earlier that I started working with Focus Ireland just 2 years ago, and at that stage the figure of children who were homeless in Ireland was just a little over 3,000, and we've now reached the 4,000. So even from me looking back over notes I had from when I started here, I can really, really even personally see the difference. In the first 6 months of this year alone, Focus Ireland have helped 800 people in the southeast area. So 800 households, so that could be a household, it could be an individual, it could be a family, it could be whatever. And on any given night here in Wexford alone, there's 60 to 70 people homeless. So, it's a growing problem, and it's not just the people who are sleeping on the streets and the people that are very visibly homeless. There's a real hidden homelessness problem. There's people sleeping on sofas. There's whole families sleeping in one room of a house somewhere. There's a huge kind of broader spectrum of homelessness rather than just the people who you see sleeping on the street. And we work with people right across the board, whatever their situation is.
Now, how does Focus Ireland support people who present themselves as homeless in County Wexford?
Focus Ireland has a whole range of services. We do what we call a wraparound service. We don't actually just hand somebody a key and say, good luck and hope you get on well. We've a wraparound service. So it could be any sort of supports. It could be linking them in with local supports. It could be mediating with a landlord. It could be getting them whatever services they need. It could be getting them some extra supports, be it financial or be it it could be equipment they need or something like that. We help with people. We've had a recent project for when kids were going back to school. We were helping families who were in need, getting ready for going back to school. We work with, a huge part of our work in Wexford is with young people. It's called the aftercare service. So these are young people who have come out of foster care. So that would be another huge area of work in Wexford. We have what's called the PEAT service, which is Preparation for Education, Training and Employment, which is an education program that we run. We have family support services. We've a huge section of a huge variety of ways in that we help people,
And from a financial perspective, how dependent is Focus Ireland on fundraising activities such as Shine a Light?
Shine a Light is our biggest fundraising activity of the year, and our target for Shine a Light Night this year is 1.4 million, which is a huge amount of money. But our target overall of fundraising this year is 11.5 million, which is absolutely huge. We are 50% dependent on fundraising. So basically we need to find 50% of our money to supply our services.
With the fact that Brexit is just around the corner, do you have any concerns that Ireland could experience another economic downturn and that the homelessness problem in Ireland could become even more complicated?
Yes, it's always a real concern. As I say, even at the moment when things seem to be going fairly okay, there's, the numbers of people working again have increased and everything, but the homelessness problem is still actually rising day by day. So I can't imagine the impact of what another downturn could do and what sort of complex issues that could bring with it. It could be really, really huge. It's quite concerning. But at the moment, we have to deal with the situation we're in. And, as I say, the numbers are rising on a daily basis. Earlier this year, we exceeded the 10,000 people who are registered as homeless. And in fact, there are probably lots of other people out there who aren't registered as homeless and, are not part of that statistic. And they mightn't even have reached out for help yet. So we believe the problem is even far greater than that 10,000.
And Cathryn, if any of our listeners are interested in participating in Shine a Light on Friday, October 18th, What should they do next?
You can go to our website, our focusireland.ie.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Cathryn O'Leary from Focus Ireland, and I would certainly encourage the local business community to support this worthy cause on Friday, October 18th.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
South